Hello, everyone. Jeffrey Jennings from ACERTUS. Can we go to the next slide? Yes. Okay. What I want to do with this brief talk is to set the stage where this is really a discussion of how we got to using DataHub and to discuss ACERTUS's general digital transformation. So the way we view utilizing DataHub is typically the first page of every data story a user goes to. So our goal is to have, if anyone wants to build any report or do any development that involves data, they start at DataHub. Next slide. Okay, and what you can see here is just a quick screenshot that I took of the current data assets that or rather data sets that we're actually bringing in to DataHub right now. Our organization has Snowflake data, our organization has SQL Server, Postgres, we'll soon have MySQL, we have Tableau, and we have Kafka coming in as well. And we also have CSV files, so we have a whole bunch of data coming from various places. Next slide. All right. First, introduction to who is ACERTUS. Next slide. All righty. ACERTUS is a tech-enabled automotive logistics organization. We handle moving a vehicle, storing a vehicle, reconditioning, meaning if a vehicle is dented or needs to be cleaned up or just simply detailed, that's reconditioning. Title and registration, hey, you never have to go to a DMV again. We handle that. All right, next slide. With that said, these are the various pieces of our organization, vehicle transport. So when you see those carriers on the road, taking cars from the rail yard to the dealership or to even a person's home, that's our vehicle transport business. Title and registration, title, tags, DMV. That's the title and registration side of our business. Vehicle storage. We have cases where we have a fleet management service. And so we need to store some cars for like an Amazon. So all those Amazon vans that you see on the road, we actually get those Amazon vans delivered to us. We actually make sure that they're all outfitted. We store them, and then we deliver it to the Amazon facility. Care services involves if there's any issues with the vehicle, such as reconditioning, meaning detailing, maintenance, or even outfitting the vehicle. That's what care services handles. And I'm just going to jump to compliance services. This is really working with our carrier business and just helping them to make sure they comply with the various state regulations that they need to make sure that they handle and manage. And home delivery, which is really our future of our organization and where we're going to. Everyone sees commercial on television, Vroom, the Carvanas, the Car Gurus. Well, we're the company behind all those organizations where we actually get the car to your home. Hit next slide. And just some numbers. We're 800 strong organization. We have over 7,400 carriers. We have our driveway business, meaning that if in Vroom or in Car Gurus, in that case, if you sell your car to Car Gurus, our drivers actually come over to your house, pick up the car, and then take it away from you. So you don't have to deal with it anymore. And we take it to the dealership. Or in the case of our Vroom business, we would actually deliver that brand new car to you. And we're notice about 1/3, maybe 40% of all such purchases of new vehicles involves a trade-in. We will actually then say, hey, give us your keys to your car that you're trading in, and we'll take it right off your hands. So that's what that part of the business handles. And here, annual vehicle transport is about 750,000 vehicles a year, 880 annual drive away moves, meaning drivers actually moving the vehicle, our title and registration, about 1 million. We have 3 locations. I'm here today in St. Louis, so that's our corporate headquarters. We have a location in Alpharetta, Georgia, and another location in Kansas City. And then we have 55 locations spread throughout the United States where we store our vehicles and where we handle reconditioning. Alrighty, next slide. And just real quick about the industry that we're in. Right here, it's a massive business. 36 million used vehicles are sold in the US, 14 million new vehicles, and about 75 million moves happen throughout a given year. And these are 2020 numbers, but during the pandemic, that only grew. But the business is highly fragmented and it's ripe for disruption. And we actually only capture about 1% of the business. We feel that we'll be able to capture 5% of the market space within, 2 to 3 years, which will get us into a $3 billion organization. Next slide. But here are our challenges. And this is where we're going to get into why we're using DataHub. Our company was made up of 3 different organizations. So we had our car haul business, which handled the brokerage of business, which means getting the carriers to get those cars from the rail yard to the dealership. Then we had our drive-away business. That's another service line that really handled the fleet management, getting those vehicles to Amazon, storing the vehicles. And then we had our T&R business, title and registration. We had an issue with cross-selling across those multiple service lines. Our products were a bit outdated, so we needed to update the product. Difficult in onboarding customers, limited order visibility. And actually the limited order visibility is actually very important because it's all about data and making sure that our people get access to data. But more importantly, and next slide, is that we realized that we needed to modernize and go through a digital transformation. So our Chief Digital Officer, Blair Cox, has actually embarked in an ambitious goal of actually modernizing our total organization and connecting everything. But this involves connecting the data. So, my colleague earlier, we use Confluent Cloud, handling our streaming and data platform using Snowflake and streaming and Kafka, KSQL DB, very important to build our overall platform. And with that said, it's all about getting people access to the data and understanding all the data that's out there. But there lies the issues, understanding all the data that's out there. Next slide. We realized we needed to have a data catalog. So first of all, let's get the language together. Let's have consistency. Let's define it so that way, one, people will know, okay, an order in car haul, which was called a load. Yeah, it was. An order in T&R was called a transaction. So we needed to make that consistent, that language consistent. But more importantly, we needed to be able to identify, okay, when you're looking for an order in T&R's transaction, okay, this is what it means and this is where it is in that system. And if you're looking for an order in car haul, which is a load, it's in that system on the car haul side. And then driveway, it was also called an order and also a BOL number, but it's a long story. And we need to manage all of that. So it's really understanding the data, the metadata. So that's the reason why, next slide, is why we're using Accrual DataHub. Because what we realized is we needed a tool, and I searched far and wide for a tool. And then when I heard that it was another project coming out of LinkedIn, and I was already using Confluent, I was like, okay, LinkedIn's onto something. I'm going to really look at this tool. And then when I noticed that to a multitude of different data sources, which you can see Snowflake, Postgres, Tableau, Kafka, MySQL, SQL Server, hosts of different data sources, which Accrual has access and connectivity to all those different data sources. And then more importantly, it was open source. So which allowed us to connect. Well, sorry, not allowed us to connect, but the open source actually gave the extensibility. So when, say, the product team didn't develop it just yet, I can always just dip in and do it myself. My team could do it itself and extend the platform. So I thought that was wonderful. Next slide. And so with that said, this is where we get to where Accrual really works for us. DataHub really works for here. Here's a quick example where someone says, hey, I want to find out about driveway order. And in this screenshot, this is actually telling us, if I'm a developer, I know I can get it from Kafka. So here's a couple of topics I could go in and actually get it from those topics. Oh, if I'm a business analyst or I'm on a data scientist team, I know it's also available in Snowflake. And so it's telling you, because we have a data warehouse where we have our driveway information. It's located in our data warehouse, letting you know the various tables that it's in. So we found this to be ultimately valuable. And then you can see over into the left right here along the side in the filters area, you can see other data sources and other places where we can find the information. This has actually saved our organization a tremendous amount of time, because really one of the big issues with having data out there is just knowing where to find it, where to get it. And this allows us to get access to it. Okay, next slide. So my advice to you is just to get started. We're just beginning our journey, but it's just to get started and actually share the hidden information with the organization. Open it up. And this open, and what we have done here, starting with the ability to the glossaries, is to opening it up, and we're giving access to our product owners for them to actually be able to own that process and for them to set the standards and for them to define it. So it doesn't have to come from me. I don't have to do that. And it's easy to get started. Next slide. What we're doing next, we're using Tableau. We're also integrating with Looker. So we're going to be adding that. We're expanding our glossaries, and we're adding more documentation and links. And also the other thing that I'm excited to say is that what I love about what's happening over at Krill is that they know that the next step is data mesh. That's the next paradigm. And then so what they're doing there is it's setting up domains so where I can actually start to model out our data mesh strategy utilizing the Krill. Next slide. Finally, thank you. I know this was short. I know this was quick. By the way, contact me, j3@ACERTUSdelivers.com. If anybody was wondering, Jeffrey Jonathan Jennings. My dad loved J's. What can I say? Thank you.